February 13th, 2013. Started to record and the memory filled up and shut off on me. So this is take two. I'll talk today about Yukon. Wanted to live there for 10 years, and Yukon's known for its millers. The school, I wouldn't say school mascot, but school team is called Yukon Millers, because there's a big, flour mill that's in town. And when you drove down Main Street, you'd see it. You could see it from a distance. Huge, humongous tower of a flour mill. Set down by the railroad tracks, and was in disuse and ill repair for a number of years. And I think they finally just tore it down. So there's no more mill. Not the first year that I moved there, but the second year I started hanging around with the boys in the neighborhood, and they were older, a little bit older, but more mature, and more hooligans than I was. But we used to on Sunday sneak down and get into the mill. It was really fascinating because it really took you back in time. Like I said, it hadn't been used in years and years, but I remember one of the calendars hanging on the wall was like from 1947. So in the heyday in the 40s, after the war, it must have been a big business and booming. Like the whole, I call it America, was kind of big booming and big growth spurts. But it hadn't been used in years and years. I remember there was a elevator, or not an elevator, but a lift. Not an elevator, but a lift you could climb on. It only had room that you could put your feet on, and you could hang on to it. And once you clicked it, it would take you from floor to floor. And I remember riding that a few times. The kids would get on that and ride around. They had built knocked holes in the floor. They must have took out some big pieces of machinery, and the only way they could get them were to put up big holes in the floor and either lower them down or got them out. But I remember a couple of years after we had been through there a number of times that some kids got in there, and one of them had fell through the hole in the floor and got killed, which was tragic, because all we want to do is just have fun. But someone just wasn't careful enough and had an accident, and I think that's wasn't probably one of the reasons why they tore it down. It's just too dangerous. But I remember we'd climb in through one of the bottom windows. We had to go down to get into it to go up, and it was pretty spooky. You'd have to crawl around and had our flashlights and candles and sneak around in the middle. One of the things we did, I remember when Mike and I went one time, and there was in the center, one of the center rooms had a spiral staircase. It went all the way up to the top, and we're talking about many floors, and it was pretty rickety, so it was pretty scary. You get about halfway up, and it just started shaking. But I remember we finally we just kept pushing and made it all the way up to the top. And we only did it once because it was just you know what you do when things once, you don't want to do them again. But once we got to the top, we could crawl along. They had the escalators, or the what do you call them, the conveyor belts at the top. So the van would come all the way up to the top and then go over to whichever chute it went, and then fill up the big side bins. But we went all the way to the end, and the one end that looked toward El Reno, which would have been west of Yukon at that time, you could really see long distance. It was just a really amazing amazing sight to be able to be that high up and see the distance. But I remember the winding staircase. It was just a circle all the way up to the top, and it was just long ways. But many Sundays we would just gather and go down by the tracks and underneath the trestle and sneak into the old mill and have fun. Among other things that we did, little vandalism, sneaking into the school, and a couple of businesses and stuff. I remember one time I was down at my grandma's, because I would be shipped out there, and I was down at my grandma's, and they snuck into one of the businesses, which was a business that one of the guy's fathers worked at. But anyway, they got caught. They knew that we sneaking into the building and put some sound sensors or something. And at that time, that was pretty state of the art. But you could hear the voices and somebody, voice activated, and they got caught. And I know they tried to frame me, pull me into it, but I remember my mother going in there and saying, he was out of town, completely out of town. You're not going to hang him up on that because he wasn't here and he wasn't one of them. But I remember them telling the story that they were hiding out in the place, and they brought the dog in, and the dog found them, and they had to do some community service. They had to clear back behind the building where all the weeds were down by the creek and by the tracks. They had to clear out all that, but missed out on all that fun. But wasn't there, wasn't me. I'm innocent. But like I said, Yukon Millers, and they got a homepage. I kind of subscribed to that, and seen that post on one of the teachers that I had when I first got there in 5th and 6th grade. There was a math teacher, and I left a comment that thanks to him, in junior high, algebra wasn't a big issue. I got A's in algebra, but I remember some of us kids would stay after school because we didn't quite get, math can be difficult and challenging sometimes. But he would stay after classes and teach us and show us until we got it down on how to do it correctly. And even after the school buses had left, he would give us a ride home. And I remember riding in the car with him. There'd be three or four of us would pile in, and he would give us all a ride home after hours. I remember there being an ashtray, and he'd smoke, and we made fun of him at the time. Why do you smoke? And it's just adults smoked at the time. But when you're young and a kid, you kind of say, "Ooh, it's a nasty habit. You shouldn't be doing that." But I remember piling into his car, and some of the other comments people would leave that if you cried or act like a baby, you put a pacifier on your desk, or some other weird things. He was pretty teachers like that stick in your mind. Education a little bit out of the ordinary. But I remember he went the extra, as I put down, went the extra mile and up and beyond what is expected of a teacher. And I appreciate that. It did help me a lot through school. So that was in memorial of him. Now I was going to try to sing Yukon Miller fight song. I'm going to embarrass myself, but I'm going to do this. It goes, when the Yukon Millers fall in line, they're going to win this game another time. They're going to yell, 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 and yell some more. It's a football team they love so well. They're going to fight, fight, fight for every score. They're going to win this game and win some more. They're going to roll those Tigers down the line. Fight, team, fight. And pep rallies. Everybody remembers pep rallies when you're going through school. We went to a couple of football games, but like I said, not the really big participant in the affairs of sports and stuff. But that's that's just a little flashback. See, there was one thing I was thinking about the other day. Oh, when we was in the mill, Mike and I, and always just to hang out and go to the mill. I remember having a premonition, and I projected, because there was a electric company that worked on the edge of the lot, so on the street level. There was a little building and had a little electric company, and surprisingly it was called Twin City Electric. And I projected that. I just knew, it just hit me that someday I'm going to work there. And I told him right out, I said, I'm going to work at that electric company. And through my vocational trainings and stuff, and that year before I moved to Minnesota, I did work there. So it's just surprisingly how sometimes you can have these premonitions and they come true, but and that a kind of a twist on fate to work at Twin City Electric and then move to the Twin Cities. Always thought that was coincidence. But some of my doings in Yukon, Oklahoma, and we started talking about school. Motley Crue, 1985, smoking in the boys' room. I didn't smoke in the boys' room, but some did. February 13th, 2015.